And welcome to the Sound Alive Sports Network, where tonight we are bringing you live action from Mountlake Terrace High School. A district game between the Mountlake Terrace Hawks and the Edmonds Woodway Warriors. District rivals, both district-wise as far as Wesco is concerned and from the Edmonds School District. But more importantly tonight, two teams with identical records in league play fighting it out for fourth place. Only 4 teams go to district playoffs, so this is a vital game tonight. There's only 5 games remaining. Mountlake Terrace coming into this game with an overall record of 5 wins and 10 losses. However, their record is 3 wins and 4 losses within the conference. Edmonds Woodway, 8 wins and 7 losses overall, but again, 3 wins and 4 losses in conference. I'm going to turn down my microphone right now as Vince DeMiro brings you the starting lineups.
Number 1, Trey Holland. For the Hawks, a 5'9" sophomore guard wearing number 15, Joey Gardner. For the Warriors, a 5'10" junior guard wearing number 3, Jordan Rice. For Mountlake Terrace, a 6'1" senior wing wearing number 23, Ali Shah. For the Warriors, a 6' junior forward wearing number 5, Brady Edwards. For the Hawks, a 6'3" junior wing wearing number 25, Gabe Altenberger. For the Warriors, a 6'3" senior forward wearing number 22, Chuck Akirike. For the Hawks, a 6'4" junior post wearing number 41, Shimron Messi. And finally for the Warriors, a 6'6" sophomore forward wearing number 40, Ryan Peterson. And finally for the Hawks, a 6'3" senior post wearing number 43, Justin Hopkins. Head coach for the Warriors is Robert Brown. Head coach for the Hawks, Nayland Sood. He's assisted by Greg Wirtz, Johnny Phillips, Al Shannon, Tim Cashman, and Anthony Asbury. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand and join the Mountlake Terrace High School Pep Band for our national anthem.
I pledge allegiance to
Terrace Pep Band.
Great job.
Quick reminder, tonight's game, regular school function, the use of alcoholic beverages or tobacco products.
They always sound great. Hey, let's get you caught up on those starting lineups in case you didn't hear those earlier. For the Edmonds Woodway Warriors, number 1, a 5'9" sophomore, averaging 13.5 points per game, Trey Holland. Number 3, and their second leading scorer, a 5'10" junior, Jordan Rice. Number 5, a junior 6 foot tall, Brady Edwards. Number 22, Chuck Okirike. He's a 6'3" senior, and he'll wear the number 22. And then finally, a 6'6" sophomore wearing the number 40, Ryan Peterson. So only one starter on the Edmonds Woodway squad that is a senior. For Mountlake Terrace, number 15, a 5'9" sophomore, Joey Gardner. 6'1" senior, number 23, Ali Shah. 6'3" junior, number 23, Gabe Altenberger. 6'4" junior, number 41, Shimron Massey. And rounding out the starting lineup, 6'3" senior, number 43, Justin Hopkins. Brady Edwards misses the first shot of the game. The Hawks coming down with the rebound. Mountlake Terrace with the ball for the first time. And on that note, I welcome in a Mountlake Terrace High School student, Irving Zhang, who's calling the game with me tonight. Let's try that again. There, how about now you're on, Irvin. Altenberger with a long three, misses it. Ball coming down to Holland. He's going to take off running. Neither team able to score on their first possession. Holland kicks it back out to Edwards. Peterson giving him a screen, drives into the lane, tries to kick it down low. Gardner gets his hand on the ball, bats it away from Okirike. Edmonds Woodway maintains possession. However, they're down to 21 on the shot clock.
That was a very curiously run pick and roll. There was not a lot of rolling going on.
Just a pick then, right?
Yeah.
Peterson using the 6'6" frame, but you're right, he didn't roll down underneath. Peterson now with a hook shot, misses it. Rebound comes down to Altenberger. Still looking for our first points here, 54 seconds into the ball game. It's Joey Gardner, the point guard, swings on over to his bench and talks to Coach Shute as he crosses the center court line. Altenberger now with the ball. Kicks it out to Shaw in the corner. Shaw's going to slow it down a bit.
He's got to be aggressive this game.
Yeah, Shaw. And as soon as you say that, he puts up a shot, misses it. Edwards coming down with the rebound. We're now looking at 6:39 to go here in the first quarter. No score so far. Each team with 2 possessions and no points to show for it.
It's going to be a very low-scoring game. Call me psychic, but I might be predicting that.
We'll see what you got here at the end. Okirike kicks it back out to Rice. Rice still playing with that broken pinky on his left hand. Drives into the lane. Nice block by Hopkins. Rice gets his own board. Off the block, scores the bucket. It's now 2-0 Edmonds Woodway.
Wow. That's interesting.
Nice job by Hopkins to break the press by kicking it back to Gardner and not trying to force it up the court when he didn't have anything.
Showing the quarterback skills, or not, yeah.
There you go. He is the quarterback on the high school football team, and unfortunately that's a bit of an interception, if you will, as he throws a pass to Gardner that gets batted away.
Yeah.
Holland coming away with it. Okirike kicks it over to Edwards out on the wing. Looks down low. Chuck's got the ball. He puts up a little 6-foot floater and gets it to fall. Chuck Okirike.
They're definitely trying to use their size. I mean, they are a lot bigger than the Terrace Hawks.
4-0. Altenberger trying to throw a pass. It bats off the rim, of all things. Edwards floats into the lane. Easy bucket. And Edmonds Woodway with 6 early points here to Mountlake Terrace's 0. And look at that. Rice stealing the Gardner pass. He's going to put up a 3. Swish.
Wow. A 9-0 run just like that. Wow.
Rice with 5 points early. 5:15 showing here to go in the first quarter. 30-second timeout. We're going to take a quick break. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
Are you a whiz in filmmaking? Do you want to become extraordinary in filmmaking? Then come to Shoreline Community College and work with Shoreline Productions, where you will learn to transform your work in teams of working professionals and students to create enchanting effects such as green screen, text animation, and so much more. So come to Shoreline Community College, where you can mystify and dazzle in filmmaking.
And welcome back to the Sound Live Sports Network. Commercial went a little long there. We get our first foul of the game. It's on number 22, Chuck Okirike. As he bumps Joey Gardner. Gardner trying to bring the ball up the court along the left sideline. Okirike bumping him, getting the first foul of the game for either team. So obviously only one team foul against the Warriors. Hawks down 9-0, looking for their first points. Altenberger kicks it to Shaw in the corner. Shaw for 3. Hits it. Ali Shaw getting the Hawks on the board in a big-time sort of way. Just what they needed when they're down by 9.
That was good spacing and ball movement. Phenomenal passing, too.
It's Jordan Rice with the ball now. Jordan along the left. Floats one up as he floats into the key. Misses the shot off the backboard. Shimron Massey coming up with it. Hawks could get that deficit down even more so if they can get a basket here. It might be a game of streaks tonight. We'll see. As Edmonds Woodway scores the first 9. See if Mountlake Terrace can get a streak of their own going here. Shaw Another three. He hits it again. Ali Shaw feeling it right now. 6 straight points. Gets the Hawks within 3.
And that's what I said earlier. He's got to be aggressive. You know, he hasn't done too much in the senior season, and he's a hustler, so we'll see.
Okirike from 16 feet out. He drains one. He now has 4 points on the night. 6-11. Nice job as Hawks looking to break the press. Altenberger still in the backcourt. He's got 5 seconds to get it over and does. Jordan Rice all over him. Gardner pulling up from 13 feet out, floats one up and draws a foul.
Why do you keep running quick on the same side as game?
Fouls on Jordan Rice. That's his first. Second team foul.
Jordan Rice picks up the foul, his first, second team foul. Joey Gardner heading to the line, shooting 2, and this trip to the free throw line, well, it's brought to you by our friends over at the Edmonds Sports Academy. Gardner missing the first shot.
That's not something you see very often.
Joey coming into the night, 15 for 18. He was shooting 83%.
Oh, wow, that's pretty impressive.
And easy
wow.
math, he's now 15 for 20. He drops down to 75% on that trip, leaving a couple free points on the board there. And checking in right now, a guy who's missed a handful of games this year with a shoulder injury, Ryan Lacoste, is Trey Holland, the leading scorer for the Warriors, gets his first bucket of the game. Increases that Edmonds Woodway lead back up to 13-6. Gardner pushing it ahead to Massey, gets it over to Altenberger.
Wow.
The NBA 3, misses it. Everybody going up for that rebound, and finally Brady Edwards coming away with it. Edmonds Woodway already with 4 straight points, looking for more right now. It's Holland driving the lane, floats one up, loses control of it. Hopkins was floating out of bounds. He kicked it back in, gets it to Rice. Rice with the layup, and he draws the foul.
What a terrible sequence of events right there.
Score the basket, 15 white.
Joey Gardner picking up his first team foul against Mountlake Terrace. Lacoste checking into the game. Also checking in Dominic Marinez, 5'6" junior for Edmonds Woodway, as he's going to give Brady Edwards a breather. And this trip to the free throw line for one shot, well, it's brought to you by our friends over at the Edmonds Sports Academy. Rice making the free throw. He now has 8 points here in the first quarter. Edmonds Woodway with their early lead and their largest lead of the game right now, 16-6. They answered the Hawks' 6-0 run with a 7-0 run of their own. Hopkins from the right side, make that the left side. Gets that one to go nothing but net. Hoppy coming off his season high 10 points against Linwood the other night. He's got 2 here now, make it a 16-8 game. Marinez gets the pick again, not much of a roll.
Yeah.
Rice is going to try to drive from the left. Stuckey kicks it to Marinez. Marinez kicks it over to Okirike. He's going to put up a 12-foot runner, misses it. Ball bounces around on the ground, and Ryan Lacoste with that shoulder with a ton of tape all over it, as that thing is dislocated on him a couple of different times this season. No doubt playing in a little bit of pain, but he's one of the tougher kids you're ever going to see on a basketball court. Massey kicking it back up to Gardner. Gardner with a 3. Leaves it short, but I believe he might have drawn a foul out there on the perimeter. Let's see what they call.
Boy, is he grimacing as he tries to get up.
Foul is, in fact, on Marinez on the 3-point shot. So Gardner will go to the line shooting 3, and you're right, he is grimacing. I'm not sure what exactly happened there. It looks as though Marinez might have run into him, or their feet might have gotten tangled up as Joey hit the ground. Joey now 0 for 3 tonight from the free throw line. Another trip to the free throw line brought to you by our friends over at the Edmonds Sports Academy. Gardner 0 for 4.
And an injury to Joey Gardner will be the last thing this Terrace Hawks team, ravaged by injury, would need.
Peterson checking out of the game for Edmonds Woodway as Ali Gaye, the 6'6" sophomore, wearing the number 33, checks in for the first time tonight. And there, Joey's off the schneid. 1 for 5 in the first quarter, 16-9. Edmonds Woodway with the lead, 1:54 to go here in the quarter. Rice thought about a 3, Tries to get Altenberger up in the air. Gardner with the steal. Ball is loose. Gardner still has it. Let's see what they're going to call. I believe Rice might get called for a foul here.
Good anticipation and help defense by Joey.
Is in fact on Jordan Rice, his second. A huge foul for the Hawks to get on the Warriors as Rice with 8 points here in the first quarter. Now is more than likely one foul away from sitting for the rest of the half. And you're right, nice play by Joey Gardner there to get the steal. Couldn't quite come up with it initially and kept with it. Altenberger for three, swish! Hawks feeling it from the three-point line tonight. A quick 30-second timeout from Edmonds Woodway. We'll take a break. You're watching the Sound Live Sports Network.
People assume quality car insurance has to cost more. People assume too much. The truth is, drivers who switched to Allstate last year saved money and got better protection. So get the facts, because you know what they say about people who assume. They pay more for car insurance than you and me.
To see how much you can save on car insurance and much more, call Jeff Smar. Jeff's office service.
And welcome back to the Sound Alive Sports Network, presented by Shoreline Community College. A game of streaks so far. Edmonds Woodway scores the first 9 points of the game. Hawks come back with 6 straight points. Edmonds Woodway then scores 7 straight points, and now Mountlake Terrace with another 6 straight. Nobody seems to be able to break the streak, so to speak, or get it back-to-back baskets, as Edmonds Woodway now trying it to break the Hawks' run. See if they can get a basket of their own. Holland looks for the pass into the middle of the lane. Gets batted down into the hands of Lacoste. Joey Gardner looking to push it. Kicks it out to Hopkins. Hopkins tries to kick it back out to Lacoste.
Oh, wow.
Initially gets stolen away by Holland, and finally coming away with it is Hopkins. As Mountlake Terrace now resets their offense with 55 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Massey from the corner, bouncing, and finally comes off the rim. And Edmonds Woodway trying to fight for it amongst themselves. Lets the ball squirt out of bounds, and the Hawks will get a new 35-second clock here with 47 seconds to go in the period.
Now, one quick note is I wonder if Edmonds Woodway after that timeout is still going to stick with their zone, because that's what's pretty much given the Hawks the flurry of threes that they have.
And really the only thing that's keeping Mountlake Terrace in the game so far,
So
9 of those 12 points have come via the three ball.
So will they go man, or will it still be a zone? It looks to still be a zone.
They're
Yeah,
doing the
wow.
zone still, yeah. Berger kicks it to Lacoste. Get a little bit of contact underneath the hoop, and let's see who they call that on. Ali Gaye picking up his first foul. That's already the 5th team foul against Edmonds Woodway here in the first quarter versus Mountlake Terrace's 1. 39 seconds shown on the clock, and Massey couldn't quite hold on to that pass. Goes to Rice. Benj Perilla gets his first action of the night, misses the shot. Rice comes away with the rebound. Massey goes for the swat, and I think gets more of Rice's head than he gets ball. And Rice is going to head to the line shooting 2. Massey picking up his first foul of the game. And Jordan Rice heading back to the line for 2 more shots and another trip to the free throw line, sponsored by our friends over at the Edmonds Sports Academy. Rice, nice touch, gets that first one to go. Ali Shaw checking back into the game as Massey's going to take a breather here with 30 seconds remaining in the first quarter. 17-12, Edmonds Woodway by 5. Rice now 3 for 3 from the free throw line.
Wow.
Rice with 12 points in the first quarter alone. We had a 19-point half against Arlington just a couple of weeks ago rather. Daniel Johnson with his first action, drives the lane and decides to kick it out to Hopkins at the last second. Floats that one well over his head, and Edmonds Woodway, well, they get the ball back with 21 seconds to go here in the quarter.
With all these turnovers, it's honestly amazing that the Hawks are only down by 6.
3-pointers keeping you in.
Yeah, guess so.
And also on the other end, free throws kind of keeping you out of the chance to take the lead as well.
Yeah.
Rice now kicks it over to Perilla. 4 seconds to go on the game clock before the end of the quarter. Rice not sure where he's going. Finally floats one up from 16 feet out. Misses it. No foul called. And we've come to the end of the first quarter with our score, the Edmonds Woodway Warriors 18, the Mountlake Terrace Hawks 12. You are watching the Sound Live Sports Network. And welcome back to the Terraceum at Mountlake Terrace High School. Edmonds Woodway with the 18-12 first quarter lead, and Jordan Rice, who's averaging 10.6 points per game on the season, already passed his season average. He's got 12 in the first quarter. Warriors with the early 6-point lead, and Daniel Johnson gets stripped of the ball. Benj Perilla coming away with the steal on that play, and Joey Gardner very quickly being summoned from the bench over to the scorer's table as he's about to check back into the game. Perilla picks up his dribble, kicks over to Tanner Carrasco, who's in for the first time today. Carrasco kicks it back to Perilla, being guarded by the much taller Daniel Johnson. Floats it to Edwards. Edwards kicks it over to Marinez. 12 on the shot clock. Finds Guy rolling to the hoop. Guy just couldn't quite finish as Altenberger comes away with it. Nice roll to the hoop there by Ali Guy, and nice pass by Marinez. They just couldn't get it to go, and Hawks still looking for their first points here in the second quarter as they swing the ball back around on the other end as Altenberger tries to set up the offense. Swings it to Johnson, who throws it to Lacoste into the corner. They're down to 16 on the shot clock. Altenberger fakes the three, drives right into the lane, floats one up off the backboard and in. Altenberger with a tough layup. He now has 5 for the game. On the other end, Edwards looking to push it. Misses the shot. Almost gets his own rebound, and give Altenberger a lot of credit as he bats that ball away on the dive. Johnson and Edwards both go to the deck, scrambling for it. Tied up, possession arrow goes to Edmonds Woodway as they will keep the possession down here with 6:43 to go in the second quarter. Altenberger certainly has come to play tonight. He's scrambling all over that floor right now.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not sure what happened there as Carrasco finally comes away with the inbound. It looked like it might have ricocheted off of another player, but goes into Tanner's hands. He misses a 4-foot shot. Hawks come away with the rebound, and Edmonds Woodway, a minute and a half into the quarter, still looking for their first points in the second period. The Hawks have a chance to get this one down even more as they're trailing by 4 right now. Ali for 3!
Oh.
Doesn't quite go. Bounced off the rim twice. Actually, one of those bounces hit the wiring above the hoop, which holds the basket up. And in this gym, that is considered out of bounds. So Edmonds Woodway will inbound from underneath the hoop. Perilla swings it to Edwards for an open look at a 3. He misses it. And Guy coming over the back of Massey is going to pick up his second foul of the game. It's the 6th team foul against Edmonds Woodway as they are 1 away from putting Terrace into the bonus for the remainder of the half. Finn Rogan, 6'5" junior, checking into the game for the first time for the Warriors. He wears the number 21. Joey Gardner bringing the ball up. Ali Shaw, who already has 2 3-pointers today. Ooh, and he floats that one to Gardner, almost stolen by Perilla. Altenberger from the corner, leaves it short. Ball bounces off the rim, off to the side where Carrasco was waiting for it. Carrasco now with the ball over on the left wing, and Justin Hopkins runs by us as he's about to check back into the game. Edwards picks up a screen,
Wow.
And drains that one from 16 feet out. And that was Rogan who came up and put the screen on Altenberger for him. Nice job there as Joey Gardner pushing it up on the other end. Almost lost the ball there momentarily. Gets it back. 20-14. Both teams only scoring 2 points here so far in the second quarter, and we're almost 3 minutes in. Clock showing 5:07 to go.
Not a lot of movement by anyone except for Gardner.
Altenberger misses that shot. He went up a little bit awkward there. I wasn't sure if he was trying to maybe pass it at the last second or what, but it certainly didn't look right. And it's Caraco on the other end drains the three, and we've seen Tanner get hot from out there before. Does so there and gives Edmonds Woodway a 9-point lead here with 4:46 to go in the second quarter.
And once again, the Hawks are struggling at beating this press.
Caraco picking off the pass, lays it up himself. And they're going to say he drew contact from Altenberger, and that's going to put Caraco on the line for two. Some of those passes while trying to break the press are certainly telegraphed.
Yeah.
You can see them even from here as they're about to be picked off. Caraco with 2 shots. Misses the first, and this trip to the free throw line also brought to you by our friends over at the Edmonds Sports Academy. It's kind of a yo-yo game right now. Every time Edmonds Woodway gets ahead by 9, 10, or 11 points, Mountlake Terrace pulls them back in within 4 or 5, only to see that lead go back up again towards double digits, and that's exactly what's happening here. Yeah. Caraco missing both shots as it's still a 9-point game. Altenberger hits the three.
And right as you say that, too.
23-17. Gabe now with 8 points tonight. His second 3-ball. They're going to now say that was a 2-ball. I kind of wondered about that. Right, kind of towing the line. Caraco from inside the 3-point line. Barely catches the front of the rim. Comes right down to Lacoste, and here come the Hawks. Altenberger out on the right wing. Loses the ball, kicks it out to Gardner. Gardner with an open 3. Floats one way up.
Ooh. Comes
down. It's a scramble right now. And finally, Caraco coming away with it. Kicks it to Perilla. Perilla with somewhat numbers. Tries to push it ahead. And finally, Edmonds Woodway will let the offense reset.
Wow, that was a very...
Call Hopkins with a push. That could have gone either way, really, as I
think there was pushing on both sides.
Definitely. I wasn't sure which way the referees were going to call that. I thought initially they might even give an offensive foul to Edwards. But
yeah. I agree. I thought it was a push-off.
Warriors with a new 35-second clock. Only the 4th team foul against the Hawks. So not much damage done there if you're Mountlake Terrace. And really, Hopkins only with 1 foul right now. 3:43 to go here in the half. 23-16. Rogan with the ball. Finds some space in the key. Floats one up towards the hoop. Leaves that one well short. Got backboard, however. Caraco came down with it. They're going to say Caraco last touched it as well. Hawks with a basketball. Warriors going with this press one more time as you can hear the coaches in the background trying to get Shimron Massey to come back a little ways and possibly help with it. They're down to 3 seconds to go. They better get it over the line. Finally do so as they throw a pass to Hopkins. I'm going to say he touched the last and it goes out of bounds. (23-16) is the score. 3:13 to go in the half. Holland for a 3. Ball comes shooting off the rim and into the hands of Lacoste. And on that note, Mountlake Terrace decides they need a 30-second timeout. We're going to take a quick break. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
And welcome back to the Terraceum. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network presented by Shoreline Community College. Edmonds Woodway trying to expose that Achilles heel of the Mountlake Terrace Hawks. The full court press is back on again. And as soon as we say that, the Hawks break it beautifully. Altenberger to Lacoste, over to Massey. Easy layup. Massey getting his first 2 of the game. Once again, the Hawks trying to put on a little bit of a run here as they now trail Edmonds Woodway by 5, 23-18. Holland with the ball, kicks it over to Rice. Rice has been very quiet this quarter after scoring 12 in the first. He's yet to score in the second. Okirike floating one up from the left side and gets it to fall.
That was a tough shot. Wow.
Got to give Justin Hopkins a lot of credit. You can't play defense much better than that. And on the inbound, they're going to call Gabe Altenberger for pushing off. Offensive foul. That's his first. Oh, we got him down for 2 now. 5th team foul against the Hawks. 2:24 to go in the half. Ball's thrown into Rogan, and after the Hawks were able to put on their best press breaker of the game so far, just 1 possession to go, they then pick up an offensive foul. 2:12 to go here in the quarter. 25-18. Edmonds Woodway with the lead. Trey Holland goes to the right, floats one up. Nicely done. Trey picking up his second basket of the game. Hawks getting the ball into the corner there. Hopkins driving towards the hoop. Kicks it back out. He's got Altenberger for 3. Hits off the back iron. Massey with the rebound. Kicks it back out to Lacoste. Hawks very content to set their offense back up again as Gardner fakes into the key. Kicks it back out. Now down to 1:39 to go here in the half. 20 showing on the shot clock. Nice job by Edwards getting his hand on that ball. Lacoste goes into the key, misses the shot. Rice coming down with the rebound. Trey Holland feeling it right now. Drives into the key, kicks it to Rogan into the basket. Nice job by Trey Holland getting himself all the way underneath the hoop, drawing a double team and hitting a wide open Finn Rogan. And then the Hawks get called for a 5-second violation on the other side.
And another turnover to impede their momentum, or any trace of a momentum.
Edmonds Woodway matching their largest lead of the night, and now they've got it. Edwards to Rice on the inbound. Beautifully done. Officials timeout as we've apparently got a little bit of a wet spot on the floor, which seems to be taken care of now. 31-18, Edmonds Woodway on a run right now. Ball gets batted away. However, the Hawks do draw the foul, which should be the 7th on Edmonds Woodway, and I believe Gardner should be heading to the line shooting 1-1. That is the case as Edwards picks up his first. Joey with the 1+, and this trip to the free throw line brought to you by our friends over at the Edmonds Sports Academy. Gardner 1 for 5 from the free throw line so far tonight. Make that 2 for 6. Doesn't have to be pretty, right? It just needs to go in.
And while we're talking about the game, while the players are battling on the court, it really does seem like a battle of the coaches. They're both feeling free to let their players know what's up.
1:09 to go. Nayland Sood, a longtime coach here at Mountlake Terrace, versus Robert Brown, first-year head coach. And that's an unfortunate situation there for Edmonds Woodway as Gardner missed the free throw. He had Edwards and Okirike going for the same ball, and one of them batted it off the other one. So the Hawks will get a new possession underneath the hoop with a brand new 35-second clock, which is just what they needed, down by 12 with 1:09 to go here in the half. Gardner throws it into Altenberger. Swings it over to Lacoste. Nice job by Ryan not to throw that ball too early, and Justin Hopkins just has it hit him right in the hands and ricochets out of bounds, turns it back over to the Warriors. Edmonds Woodway right now slowly bringing the ball up. They're going with Holland, Okirike, Rice, Edwards, and Peterson. Mountlake Terrace with Lacoste, Shaw, Massey, Gardner, and Hopkins. Joey Gardner coming very close to getting the steal. Got his hands on the ball. continues to stay with it. He's like a little gnat all over Holland, and finally Holland able to come away with it. Peterson couldn't quite come up with that one as Massey bats it away. 3 to go on the shot clock. Edwards throws up a shot, has it come off the rim. Hawks with the rebound. Looking to cut that deficit down before the end of the half. We're now down to 22 seconds to go. Floating into the key is Joey Gardner. I think Okirike might have gotten his hands on that one. Holland on the other end loses it momentarily. 12 to go on the game clock here in the half. And it looks as though Edmonds Woodway might be playing for the last shot here. Ball's kicked over to the corner. Rice for 3. Comes off the rim, and that is the end of the first half. Our score, the Edmonds Woodway Warriors 31, the Mountlake Terrace Hawks 19. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll get you some stats and caught up as to what you may or may not have missed in the first half. We'll have the Action Jackson halftime show. You're watching the Sound Live Sports Network.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
People assume quality car insurance has to cost more. People assume too much. The truth is, drivers who switched to Allstate last year saved money and got better protection. So get the facts, because you know what they say about people who assume. They pay more for car insurance than you and me.
To see how much you can save on car insurance and much more, call Jeff Smar. Jeff's office serves many areas including Linwood, Edmonds, Bothell, and Mountlake Terrace. If you've been wanting to get back in the game, whether it's basketball or just improving your fitness level, Edmonds Sports Academy is the place to go. Edmonds Sports Academy, believe in the power of play. Call them at 425-772-1901. Sound Live Sports Network production services are provided by the Broadcast Field Production Class, a CTE intra-district course. If you are a student in the Edmonds School District, you can be part of the exciting world of live sports production. Learn about broadcast announcing, broadcast engineering, and sports reporting while providing a valuable service to your community. Contact your school counselor today to find out more and sign up for Broadcast Field Productions.
Are you a whiz in filmmaking? Do you want to become extraordinary in filmmaking? Then come to Shoreline Community College and work with Shoreline Productions, where you will learn to transform your work in teams of working professionals and students to create enchanting effects such as green screen, text animation, and so much more. So come to Shoreline Community College, where you can mystify and dazzle in filmmaking.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
And welcome back to the Action Jackson Plumbing halftime report. Our score, the Edmonds Woodway Warriors 31, the Mountlake Terrace Hawks 19. Steve Willits along with Irvin Zan. And Irvin, as I turn the microphone back on here just for a brief moment so everybody can hear it, the band is playing. The Mountlake Terrace Hawks musicians sound great tonight. I'm not sure if we can say quite the same thing about the basketball team yet.
Yeah. Just a lot of turnovers and a failure to get any offensive momentum going their way.
And they've got one more half to right the ship, so to speak, but they're going to have to do it in a big way. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the individual scoring for the first half so far. We'll start off with the Warriors. Trey Holland with only 4 points so far tonight. Again, he is their leading scorer for the year with 13.5 points. So from the Mountlake Terrace standpoint, if you can hold Holland under 10 points, you're generally in pretty good shape. However, one guy who is scoring over his average already is Jordan Rice. Rice with 14 points in the first half. He's the leading scorer. Brady Edwards with 4 points. Finn Rogan with 2. Chuck Okirike with 6. And then Tanner Caraco rounds out the scoring with 3 points. For the Mountlake Terrace Hawks, Joey Gardner with 2 points. Obviously, the frustrating thing for Joey so far is he's 2 for 7 from the free throw line. Joey, like we mentioned earlier, coming into the game as an 83% free throw shooter. Not the numbers you want from number 15 tonight.
Yeah, you got to get those freebies. The reason why they're called free throws.
Because they're free. Ali Shaw with 6 points, all coming in the first quarter off of 2 quick three-pointers. He's taken another shot since then and missed it, but really, if you can get him hot from the three-point line, he can light it up quickly.
Especially with the zone that they're operating. He'll always be open in the corner if they swing the ball correctly.
Gabe Altenberger with 7 points. Shimron Massey with 2 points, however.
8 rebounds. He's been a beast on the board, especially defensively.
Yeah, Massey with a few big rebound games this year, and just looking at it really quickly, his high rebounding total for the year was 12 against Shorewood, so he is on pace to shatter that tonight, so we'll keep an eye on that. And then Justin Hopkins rounding out the points with 2 of his own. And if you're the Hawks, like you said again, you need to get some of those shots. The free throws need to be made. So far tonight, we're only 2 for 7 from the line for the Terrace Hawks, as Gardner's the only one that's even shot a free throw yet. But maybe a better percentage there, and also getting some of those shots to fall. But more importantly, you got to break that press.
Yes. And just going back to Trey Holland real quick. He might be a leading scorer, but so far, mad props to Joey Gardner. He has guarded him all game, and he's just on him ferociously, not letting him get an inch of space. And every pass going to him, he's denying it. He's going out and getting steals. It's amazing.
And from the Edmonds Woodway standpoint, you mentioned Holland being guarded very nicely by Gardner. He did start to catch fire a little bit there in the last minute and a half or so. Had a great running layup that he made. Also drew a double team underneath the basket and kicked it to Rogan for an easy 2. So we know Holland is a type of a player, and only a sophomore, by the way, who can get hot quickly. So they need to keep an eye on him. And if Edmonds Woodway wants to maintain this lead and keep it going, obviously helps if Holland can keep it up. And also, I'd like to see if they can get more production out of Rice in the third quarter. Again, 12 points in the first, only 2 in the second. Rice is a guy that can light it up fairly quickly. And if you're Edmonds Woodway, you don't want to get into that mindset that the game's over yet, right? There's still 16 minutes of basketball to play.
And the Hawks, with their flurry of threes, they can turn the score upside down in a quick second.
So a lot of action still to come. We're going to take another quick break. When we come back, we'll get you right to the third quarter. Again, you're watching the Action Jackson Plumbing halftime show right here on the Sound Live Sports Network.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
Are you a whiz in filmmaking? Do you want to become extraordinary in filmmaking? Then come to Shoreline Community College and work with Shoreline Productions, where you will learn to transform your work in teams of working professionals and students to create enchanting effects such as green screen, text animation, and so much more. So come to Shoreline Community College, where you can mystify and dazzle in filmmaking.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
And welcome back to the Terraceum, 31-19. Mountlake Terrace trailing by 12 right now. We mentioned it before, we'll mention it again. This is a huge game for both teams tonight. Both coming into this game with a conference record of 3 wins and 4 losses. I mentioned this to you also before. These two teams are in a 3-way tie with Meadowdale for 4th place right now. However, one thing that needs to be brought up as well is that the team that's in 2nd place is Shorecrest. Shorecrest is playing in the Wesco 3A division. However, they are a 2A school, so they will not take one of the 4 district playoff spots. So the best way I can describe this is 3 teams in the South will be guaranteed a playoff spot, and a 4th one may or may not get in based on the records of the teams in the North. So 3 are guaranteed a spot. Right now, Glacier Peak with a 7-0 record is pretty well out in front for that number 1 seed. Shorewood is 1 game ahead of both of these 2 teams. They're 4-3 right now. They have a big game against Shorecrest tomorrow night. And then you've got Meadowdale, Edmonds, Woodway, and Mountlake Terrace in a 3-way tie with a 3-4 record. So again, one of those 3 teams will get a guaranteed playoff spot. A second team may or may not get in, depending on what happens over on the north side. My personal projection is that I think 2 of these 3 teams will get in, just based on what I know about the North this year.
Yeah.
So really with 5 games to go, both of these teams need to get a victory. Edmonds Woodway looking like they're on the verge of doing so through 1 half of play anyway. Mountlake Terrace might have something to say about that as we get going here in the second half. And a nice block from behind. That was Ryan Peterson. Bats that ball away from Ryan Lacoste. Ball does, however, get bounced out of bounds by one of the Warrior players who had come away with that ball. So Mountlake Terrace Hawks dodging one right there as they get another chance as Lacoste is looking for Altenberger underneath the hoop. Can't find him. And they're going to call Lacoste for a travel underneath the basket, turning the ball back over to Edmonds Woodway. Third quarter of action. Edmonds Woodway wearing the road blacks tonight with the green trim. Mountlake Terrace with the home whites. Nice pass, and there is Peterson finds Okirike down low, and Okirike with a spin move throws that one off the glass. He now has 8 points for the ball game. 33-19 is our score. Edmonds Woodway with the largest lead of the night at 14 right now, and once again putting that press on. The Hawks finally able to break it. Joey Gardner up on top. Sophomore versus sophomore as Trey Holland is guarding him. I have a feeling we'll see this matchup here for the next couple of years. 2 very good young players.
Both defensively and offensively.
Indeed. 12 seconds to go on the shot clock. Once again, we get the Gardner-Holland matchup as Gardner's going to drive along the left-hand side, and they're going to say Gardner, I believe, pushed off. See if they, in fact, call it on Joey.
We couldn't get a good angle at that, but I didn't really see anything.
Well, the reason we didn't see anything is because we were watching the wrong players. It was apparently called on Altenberger, who was, I believe, trying to set a pick. It's the second time that they're going to call Altenberger for an offensive foul.
And that's his 3rd. That may be troublesome in the future.
Altenberger is your leading scorer for the Hawks on the year. Averages 11.9 points per game. You're already missing Derek Anima, your 2nd leading scorer for the year, who's out with a leg injury. And as Edwards floats up a shot and misses it, gets his own rebound after the ball has bounced around a few times off of a few different hands. Edmonds Woodway very content to slow this game down right now, and why not? They've got the 14-point lead. Rice gets into the lane, floats one up underhanded, bounces around a couple of times, and finally comes down to Massey, who unofficially now with, 9 rebounds? Is that correct?
9 rebounds, wow. Yep.
Only has 2 points tonight, but certainly is hitting the boards nicely. Hawks running a triangle offense right now, swinging the ball around. Lacoste from 12 feet out floats it over a few different sets of hands. Misses it. Peterson pulls down the board. Holland back on the other end. Holland with the basketball, kicks it out Over to Edwards, 21 to go on the shot clock. A lot of coaching going on too right here is Johnny Phillips, the assistant coach, breaking out instructions to his defense, and let's see if they work. Okirike floats one up from 8 feet out. A little bit too hard off the backboard that time, and it comes down to the Hawks.
Another rebound unofficially goes to Massey.
Shermer continues to pull down plenty of boards. Unfortunately for the Hawks, it's not helping them on the scoreboard. Nice job by LaCosta, hustle down the court, bats that ball away, as otherwise Okirike would have had a nice, easy layup.
He's showing some of that running back speed that we saw during football.
Now LaCosta, an all-league football player this year for Mountlake Terrace, both as a safety and as a running back. As Gabe Powder is going to check in for the first time tonight while Ali Shaw hits to the bench. Very similar quarter to what we saw in the second period. Is a lot of contact there. Let's see if they say that's before the shot or not. They get Powder with his first foul. It is, in fact, not a shooting foul. So we're 2 minutes and 56 seconds into the half. So far, only 2 points scored combined. I believe we had a similar number in the second quarter. What was it, 2 or 4 points between the two teams in the first 3 minutes before both of them kind of got going a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
Okirike with a nice offensive tip up towards the basket. It just rolls off as both he. Hawks still looking for their first points of the second half. Massey from 12 feet out, misses the shot. However, we get a whistle. Foul is on Brady Edwards, his second. Only the first team foul against the Warriors in the half, so Massey will head to the line shooting 2. He is shooting so far on the year 64% from the free throw line. 14 for 22. Make that 15 for 23 as he hits the first one. And this trip to the free throw line is also brought to you by our friends over at the Edmonds Sports Academy. Trey Holland getting a breather right now as Dominic Marinez checking back into the game for the Warriors. Massey with a nice touch, gets the second one to go as well. Rice with the ball out on the left wing, picks up a screen from Okirike, fires from 3, misses it. LaCoste comes down with a nice board, kicks over to Gardner. Looks to push the Hawks up the floor rather quickly. Gardner going all the way, and the shot is blocked. However, they're going to say he did draw a foul. Brady Edwards picks up his second foul of the half, third for the game.
Now the Hawks are showing an aggression, but now they need to ice these free throws.
I mentioned it at the half. Gardner was only 2 for 7 in the first half. Gets that one to go, and this free throw trip is also brought to you by our From the Stripe sponsor, the Edmonds Sports Academy.
We can count that 3 for 8 now.
Starting to sound a little better, right?
Yeah.
Still not 15 for 18, which is where Joey was before the night started, and now 3 for 9. So he misses another one. 33-22. Hawks trailing by 11. Okirike kicks it over to Marinez. Back to Rice, kicks it into the corner for Perilla. Benj throws that one over to Okirike. Floats it up from the corner, misses the shot. However, Okirike doing a nice job to hustle in for his own rebound. However, shuffled those feet as he came down. They're going to call him for traveling. It's going to give the ball back to the Hawks. We've now passed the 4-minute mark in the quarter. The clock showing 3:59 to go. Both teams with only 2 points here so far in the third. So LaCoste looking to push the ball up the floor. Massey gets over to Gardner, floats one up to Altenberger underneath the hoop. Altenberger coming away with it. Okirike with a nice block from behind. Hits it into the hands of Marinez, who pushes it forward. We had a game here a couple of weeks ago between Mountlake Terrace and Glacier Peak. Third quarter, 2 teams combined for 3 points in the entire quarter as Glacier Peak scored 3, Mountlake Terrace 0. Marinez misses the shot. Okirike comes away with it. So far in this third quarter, only 4 points combined, and we're almost 5 minutes in. Holland looking to pick up a screen from Peterson. Rolls down towards the basket. LaCoste bats that one into the air. Peterson touches it last, and it's turned back over to the Hawks.
Now we're starting to see some roll action with the pick and rolls.
Yeah, for so long in that first half, Peterson would throw that pick and then not go anywhere. That time he did, in fact, roll down. Edmonds Woodway needs a 30-second timeout. 3:15 to go in the third. We're going to take a quick break. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
People assume quality car insurance has to cost more. People assume too much. The truth is, drivers who switched to Allstate last year saved money and got better protection. So get the facts, because you know what they say about people who assume. They pay more for car insurance than you and me.
To see how much you can save on car insurance and much more, call Jeff Smar. Jeff's office serves many areas including Linwood, Edmonds, Bothell, and Mountlake Terrace. He can be reached at 425-949-7103.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
Ball had gone in. I think Dominic Marinez would have had the play of the night.
Yeah, definitely.
Massey to inbound the ball. Not sure that would have made Sports Center, which is what. Oh, and a steal is nice play by Holland. Floats it over to Peterson. Peterson can't finish.
And another big play that just doesn't get finished.
So we had a finish between Arlington and Marysville Pilchuck 2 weeks ago. A tip in at the buzzer that actually did make the Sports Center play of the night.
Oh, I heard about that.
Not sure we're going to see a buzzer beater here unless the Hawks get going. Powder picks up his dribble. He's in trouble right now. Finally kicks it down the floor to Lacoste. Lacoste being double-teamed. Holland sneaks up from behind him, bats it away, throws it down to Marinez, over to Perilla. Perilla finishes. Nice job by the Warriors. Great ball movement once Holland stole the ball. Had a wide-open Marinez down that right sideline, and Marinez just kicked right over to where Bench could finish it off. 35-22. Lacoste out of control, gets that ball batted away from behind. This time, however, it goes out of bounds, and the Hawks will keep the possession with 26 seconds to go on the shot clock.
The Warriors' defense has to be credited. They force so many turnovers and just lock down the guards when it comes to the press.
Deep team, too, the Warriors. If you can run 9 or 10 guys out there, you can continue to play that press. And that's exactly what we're seeing them do, is they continue to give players breathers, and we're going to see that again as Caraco and Gaia get ready to check back in. Gardner misses the shot, comes away with the rebound, however. So we get a foul called. I'm going to call Marinez with a push-off, his second. Third team foul. So Gaia and Caraco do, in fact, come back in as Peterson and Okirike check out. Hopkins is going to check back in for the Hawks as Lacoste takes a breather. 2:08 to go here in the third quarter. 35-22, Warriors with a lead. Marinez hits the deck. Jumps back up quickly. Massey misses the 14-foot floater from on the left-hand side. Edmonds Woodway coming away with the rebound. And Powder catches Perilla sleeping there a little bit. Bats the ball away, and I think we're going to get Perilla with a foul. That is, in fact, the case. And Perilla just got a little bit lazy with the basketball. I think he just assumed he was going to have a moment or two to set up his offense, and Powder capitalized as he noticed he wasn't paying attention and just jumped in there and batted the ball away from him and took the possession.
That was good defensive aggression.
Hopkins takes the inbound pass, kicks it out to Altenberger. Gardner back to Hopkins. We're down to 1:41 to go here in the third quarter. Altenberger looking for a shot. Oh, goes for the layup, and Holland swats it away. Trey Holland looking to run. Floats right past Hopkins. Easy layup. That is what Trey Holland can do to you right there on both ends of the floor, both with the block shot and the layup. Edmonds Woodway now with their largest lead of the night at 37-22. Massey thought about the 16-footer, pulls it back out. Powder bounces it off of his own foot. Perilla comes away with it. Apparently Benj is into returning the favor as he essentially does to Gabe what he did to him just a moment ago. Powder picking up his second foul. It's the third team foul against the Hawks. Koss is going to check back in as Gardner comes out. 1:13 to go here in the quarter. 37-22 Edmonds Woodway. Pinch Perilla swings it over to the corner where Holland has it. Holland with an underhand scoop shot, misses that one. Powder comes away with the rebound. Gets by Caraco and looks to push it up on the other end. Shuffles his feet and gets called for the travel. Almost got away with that one.
Yeah, that was a very late call.
Might have been a travel and a half. He shuffled a few feet there. As Daniel Johnson checks back into the game. As Hawks are going to take Powder back to the bench.
And here we see them utilize the no point guard lineup and just all size.
Good point there. We've got Johnson, Altenberger, Massey, Hopkins, and Lacoste out on the floor.
We've seen them do this a few times, but we'll see how it works here when the press is just hurting them so much.
Holland, Caraco, Gailly, Marinez, and Perilla out on the floor for the Warriors right now. Marinez drives the lane. Massey with the block. Bats that one out of bounds. So Edmonds Woodway keeps the ball. However, we're down to 16 on the shot clock. 37 seconds left on the game clock. Marinez looking for somebody. Better get it in quickly, and finally throws it into Perilla. Picks up the screen from Gailly. Kicks it to Holland on the corner. He throws one up from the three-point line, misses it. It's a combination of floats and throws. Throats one up. Little tongue twister there.
He kind of utilizes a fadeaway with this shot.
Going to get a foul on Ali Gailly, his third foul of the game. 28.6 seconds to go in the third quarter. The Hawks with only 3 points here so far in the period and looking for more right now. Altenberger with the fake. Finally throws it to Hopkins. Misses the shot. Gailly might have gotten a piece of that one. Perilla on the other end. Shot clock turned off as we're now down to 15 to go here in the third. Marinez appears as though he's going to play for the last shot here. Throws one up from 12 feet out and hits that one. Marinez getting on the board for the first time tonight. And that is the end of the third quarter. Edmonds Woodway outscoring the Hawks 8-3, increasing their lead to 17. We're going to take a quick break. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit Action.
People assume quality car insurance has to cost more. People assume too much. The truth is, drivers who switched to Allstate last year saved money and got better protection. So get the facts, because you know what they say about people who assume. They pay more for car insurance than you and me.
And welcome back to the Terraceum at Mountlake Terrace High School. Steve Willits along with Irvin Zane. 39-22, Edmonds Woodway leading by 17 heading into the fourth quarter. And if Irvin and I aren't exciting enough for you, we will have a player of the game afterwards. So stick around and see who we present that to, as Marinez with another floater. Second bucket of the game for him, and the Edmonds Woodway lead continues to grow. It's now at 19. 41-22. Lacoste gets trapped momentarily, finds Hopkins. Altenberger's open. A lot of contact there as Caraco got a hold of that and knocked it out of bounds.
Wow, that might have looked like a lot of contact.
Caraco might have taken a little shot to the mouth there, too, as he's struggling with his tooth right now.
Oh.
Caraco with a bloody mouth, so he has to come out of the game. Grady Edwards coming back in.
Hope everything's okay with him.
keep an eye on that. Is hopefully, I don't think there was a tooth lost there, which is always a good thing. I've been there before. It's not fun.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, there is some blood, and therefore he has to come out. That is one of the rules.
The time where you don't want to see the tooth fairy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you like to do that when you're maybe 5 or 6 years old, right? Not when you're 18.
Especially not in the middle of a basketball game.
No, indeed. Altenberger with a spin move, kicks it out to Massey. Back to Altenberger. We're down to 4 on the shot clock. I'm not sure Gabe even recognizes that. I think he does. He puts up the shot, misses it, but draws the foul. Get a foul called against Dominic Marinez, his third. 6th team foul.
And if the Hawks are going to have any chance of even getting close to getting back to this game, they're going to need a lot of points.
They've only gotten 22 points total over the course of 3.5 quarters, or 3+ quarters. They're down by 19 right now, so they're in a bit of trouble.
Yes.
As Altenberger misses the first free throw. Altenberger on the year coming into this game shooting 71% from the line. This trip to the line brought to you by our friends over at the Edmonds Sports Academy. Altenberger missing both shots.
And isn't it ironic? The 3 people that have shot free throws, the one with the worst percentage going into this game, have made both his, while the other 2 have struggled.
Struggled a bit. Yeah, you're right. Gardner 3 for 9, and now Altenberger 0 for 2. Edwards with a nice fake, drives hard to the hole, misses the shot. Coming away with it is Justin Hopkins. Hopkins tries to throw it to Lacoste, gets away, but goes to Daniel Johnson, who finds Massey underneath the hoop, and he lays one up. Massey now with 6 points on the night.
He's been a bit quiet this quarter in terms of anything but points.
Do we get the double-digit rebounds for him yet, or are we okay?
Yep,
Not a bad thing. Something to hang his hat on at the end of the night. He's 2 away from his season high. Finn Rogan kicks it back out to Marinez. Marinez along the baseline, gets it taken away by Lacoste. Lacoste recognizing that the Hawks need something, or he's going to push forward on his own. Couldn't quite find the look he wanted. Kicks it out to Altenberger. That ball bounces way off the back rim into the air and into the hands of the Warriors as Rogan now along the left baseline floats one up. He misses the shot. Ball bounces around momentarily and finally ends up in the hands of Justin Hopkins. Sloppy basketball really on both ends right now. Altenberger getting double teamed, kicks it to Johnson. Daniel Johnson, the sophomore. It's to Massey, who looks for Hopkins down low. Hopkins being double and triple teamed. Floats one up as he goes towards the baseline, gets nothing but air. Edmonds Woodway with the ball on the other end. Benj Perilla throws it over to Marinez. Nice little move by Marinez. Gets it over to Edwards. Perilla only listed at 5'4". He was our player of the game the last time these 2 teams met, as he canned 4 3-pointers that night.
Wow.
Been a little bit quiet here tonight. He only has 2 points. Gets that down to Marinez, and Marinez is going to draw some contact. A bailout foul, really, as the Hawks had Edmonds Woodway down to 4 seconds left on the shot clock before Lacoste is going to pick up the foul.
And that really hurts.
4:59 to go. It does give Edmonds Woodway a new 35-second clock.
Yeah.
Not that I'm sure that it matters too much at this point, but hey, if there's anything we could learn from the NFC Championship game last week,
never give up.
Never give up, right? I'm not sure that these Hawks are quite along the same lines as those other ones, but you never know, right? We'll see.
Yeah.
Rogan kicks it out to Campanero, who's playing for the first time tonight. Ball gets away into the hand of Edwards. Edwards misses the shot, and Massey pulls down another rebound.
Yeah.
Here comes Terrace on the other side. Lacoste to Johnson for the layup. Basket is good, and I believe we're going to get a timeout from Mountlake Terrace.
On the bright side, it's only 5 threes. Nope.
Full timeout. We'll take a break. You're watching the Sound Live Sports Network.
Are you a whiz in filmmaking? Do you want to become extraordinary in filmmaking? Then come to Shoreline Community College and work with Shoreline Productions, where you will learn to transform your work in teams of working professionals and students to create enchanting effects such as green screen, text animation, and so much more. So come to Shoreline Community College, where you can mystify and dazzle in filmmaking.
And welcome back to the Sound Live Sports Network presented by Shoreline Community College. 4:35 remaining on the clock. The Mountlake Terrace Hawks trailing the Edmonds Woodway Warriors 41-26. A battle between two Edmonds School District rivals. A rivalry that means more this year than it has the last couple years, as Edmonds Woodway, which had been a 4A school, coming down to 3A this year to join Meadowdale and Mountlake Terrace, and Linwood also coming down to join them this year. They were a 4A last year. So all four schools in the district now playing at the 3A level, all four playing in the same division.
Adds fuel to the rivalry.
Definitely more enjoyable when the four are together like that. I know
Yes.
during my time here at Mountlake Terrace, these schools were always in the same conference the entire time. And even when you're not in the same conference, you still want to beat the team that's 3 miles away from you. But it does mean a lot more when it gets you one step closer to the playoffs. Altenberger with a layup. Edwards hitting the deck on that play. Nice no call, I think, by the referees. Neither side really needed a foul there. Rogan getting double teamed. Finds a cutting Rice who misses the basket, and the Hawks, who are on a 6-0 run already, looking for more right now. They trail by 13. 3:44 to go here. There might still be life to this Mountlake Terrace team. Nice job by Altenberger. Finds Massey underneath the basket, who lays it in.
Only 11-point game now, and if we see the Edmonds Woodway coach probably thinks that there might be a shot that they could come back. They're bringing back the starters.
If you're Robert Brown, you have to be a little concerned. That's 8 straight points. Altenberger with a great drive to the hoop, drew the defense in, and bounced a nice pass to Massey, who got the layup. And Edmonds Woodway wants a timeout. 3:18 to go. This game is all of a sudden very interesting. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You're watching the Sound Live Sports Network.
Hey sports fans, do you want to know when and where your favorite teams in the West Coast Conference are playing? Who won the game last night and what the current standings are? Well, it's easy to find out on westcoathletics.com. The information is entered by athletic directors and coaches, so you know it's accurate and up to date, making westcoathletics.com the place to view official scores, schedules, standings, and photos for all the schools and all the sports in the West Coast Conference. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook and check out westcoathletics.com, the official website of the West Coast Conference.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601
Welcome back to
or
the
visit
Sound Live
Action
Sports
Jackson.
Network. 41-30. Edmonds Woodway, it appeared as though they were comfortably ahead and ready to put this game away just a few moments ago. They had a 19-point lead, and all of a sudden the Hawks with 8 straight points. Trying to make it interesting here as we're now down to 3:09 left in regulation. 3 seconds to go on the shot clock. Holland with a long shot, misses it. Massey with another rebound. Unofficially, 12 or 13 for him now?
12.
12 rebounds for Massey unofficially. That would tie his season high, which he had against Shorewood. Johnson finds Altenberger for the three. Swish! Wow. Altenberger with the 11-0 run for the Hawks. 8-point lead for Edmonds Woodway. And we get a full timeout. Do not go anywhere. 2:45
Clogged drain?
left.
Other
Warriors
plumbing
by 8. You're
problems?
watching the Sound Live
Call
Sports
Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
Hey sports fans, do you want to know when and where your favorite teams in the West Coast Conference are playing? Who won the game last night?
And welcome back to the Sound Alive Sports Network. The Mountlake Terrace Hawks on an 11-0 run. They've outscored Edmonds Woodway 11-2 here in the fourth quarter. A team that was having trouble generating any offense for the first three quarters, and all of a sudden they are catching fire. We'll see if it's too little too late, though, as Edmonds Woodway with the 8-point lead, 2:40 to go in the fourth quarter. And unfortunately, some bad news for Mountlake Terrace here over on the bench as Peterson misses a shot. Daniel Johnson gets the rebound. Ryan Lacoste has re-aggravated that shoulder injury that he's been dealing with really ever since football season. And he is wincing in a lot of pain on that bench, and you hate to see that. He's one of the tougher kids around. Gardner with the layup and misses it. Had the look he wanted. Nice pass by Johnson. Joey could have made that a 6-point game, but we would have really been curious to see what was going to happen next. As it is, Holland goes to the other end and draws a foul, and he's going to head to the line for two. Gardner picking up his second foul of the game, fifth team foul. Trying to get some other scores while we talk to you here, too. We did get one out of the 4A side of things as Holland misses the first free throw, and this trip to the free throw line brought to you by our friends over at the Edmonds Sports Academy. For the folks who like 4A basketball, the top two teams in Wesco 4A are playing each other tonight. And the team in second place has a pretty nice lead on the team in first place as Holland hits the second free throw there. At the half, we have a score here, a little bit of a late start apparently, as Snohomish leads Jackson 28-17. Jackson going into that game with an 8-0 record in league play. Snohomish was 6-2. So they could cut that Jackson lead down to one game if they can hold on for the victory. Let you know if we get any other updates from that ball game. Holland bats that ball away. It ricochets off of Gardner and is a turnover for the Hawks. And this is what big-time players do when the team needs them to step up and get something going. That's exactly what they bring to the table. Holland on one end draws a foul, and then on the other end forces a turnover. Edmonds Woodway now with the ball, 1:44 to go and a 9-point lead. Holland looking for a screen from Peterson, gets it. However, the Hawks able to keep him in front of him. Rice picking up a screen from Okirike. Finally drives the lane and floats one into the basket.
And that might be the dagger.
The lead is back out at 11 now with 1:23 to go. Ball's briefly batted away by Holland. Gardner comes up with it. Peterson bats it away into the hands of Marinez. Ali Shaw sneaks up from behind him and steals it right back. Altenberger with the ball. He's going to drive left baseline, and Okirike swats him. Nice job by Chuck. Just waited on that one. And as soon as Altenberger elevated, Okirike went up even higher and just batted that ball out of bounds. Justin Hopkins checks back in for Ali Shaw. 1:07 to go here on the clock. Hawks finally able to get the ball in. Off the hands of Altenberger. Marinez is going to have an uncontested layup. Shoots it too hard, but Holland is right there for the follow. Gets it to go. Picks up his third point of the quarter. Another steal by Marinez. And now this game is really over. It is a 13-point game at 46-33. Holland's going to draw a foul on Gardner. .2 seconds to go. Just got another update in that game. Snohomish now ahead of Jackson by 14 after the third quarter. 41-27. Big Seattle game tonight, by the way. Garfield and Eastside Catholic, the two teams that are ranked 1 and 2 in the state at 3A right now, are playing each other. I'm not sure if we can get a score or not from that one. If we do, we'll pass it along as Holland gets fouled.
Do you have any idea how well Rainier Beach and their big prospect is doing?
Well, you know, Rainier Beach fell in the rankings because they lost to Garfield the other night.
Oh, okay.
Which is why Garfield went ahead of them. So Garfield and Eastside Catholic 1 and 2 right now. I think Rainier Beach might even be 3. But that should be a fun playoff later on down the road. Free throw was missed. It was a 1-and-1. Coming away with it was Okirike as he bats it back out to Holland. Shot clock is now turned off, 46-33. Edmonds Woodway just very content to
Run the clock out.
Run the clock out as we're now down to 10 seconds to go. Again, we will have our player of the game interview here in just a moment.
And while we're on the subject of Eastside Catholic, they do have the second and third best prospect in Washington. So
yeah, Thiboli, Matesi Thiboli is going to the University of Washington next year. You're absolutely right. Buzzer goes off. That is our final score. Edmonds Woodway 46, Mountlake Terrace 33. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have our player of the game. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
Are you a whiz in filmmaking? Do you want to become extraordinary in filmmaking? Then come to Shoreline Community College and work with Shoreline Productions, where you will learn to transform your work in teams of working professionals and students to create enchanting effects such as green screen, text animation, and so much more. So come to Shoreline Community College, where you can mystify and dazzle in filmmaking.
Sound Live Sports Network production services are provided by the Broadcast Field Production Class, a CTE intra-district course. If you are a student in the Edmonds School District, you can be part of the exciting world of live sports production. Learn about broadcast announcing, broadcast engineering, and sports reporting while providing a valuable service to your community. Contact your school counselor today to find out more and sign up for Broadcast Field Productions.
And welcome back to the Sound Live Sports Network. Our final score tonight, Edmonds Woodway 44, Mountlake Terrace 33. Trey Holland is our player of the game. And Trey, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
Nice win tonight. And I've got to ask you right off the bat, we'll get the negative stuff out of the way first. You guys had a rough night against Meadowdale the other night. You guys had a big lead. You lost it in the third quarter. Did that change the way you guys prepared for the game tonight? I mean, obviously taking away something to maybe positive from a loss?
Well, we played good in the first half against Meadowdale. In the second half, we just didn't finish strong. And it's not how you start off the game, it's how you finish it. And today, we just kept that mindset through the game. We just finished out the game the whole way through, and that's how we got the W.
Now, in that fourth quarter, you guys had a 19-point lead. Mountlake Terrace scored 11 in a row. Were you getting a little nervous for a minute there that maybe there were shades of the Meadowdale game coming back again?
It felt like that, but we didn't get discouraged at all. We just kept our composure. We ran our sets. And that's how we finished the game.
Well, and the reason I wanted to bring up that fourth quarter was because really the catalyst for getting the team back on track was you. I mean, you guys had given up 11 straight points. You drove the lane, drew a foul, and then back on the defensive side of things, you got a turnover from, I guess you ricocheted the ball off of Gardner and got it to turnover. Did you kind of take it upon yourself at that point to make sure your team regained its composure?
Oh, yes. I'm a team leader, and this year it's a big year for me. I got to step up as a point guard and be the general and lead the team.
Now, as a younger player, is that tough for you sometimes to try to get the juniors and the seniors to listen to the sophomore? Or how does that work for you?
It's kind of hard, but we're a team, and we work together as a team. We all listen to each other. We all feed off each other, and we just play good as a team.
Now, I'm looking at your schedule here. You guys have 4 games left in the season. I know you guys are 4-4 in the league right now. What has the coach said to you in regards to looking at standings and the schedules? Is it something you guys try to block out? Do you take the one game at a time mentality, or you kind of keeping an eye on things?
Just one game at a time. Prepare for each game. Don't think about the next game. We just focus on the game that's coming up and prepare, and that's how we do it.
Well, you're doing it well so far. So again, Trey, you are the player of the game. Congratulations. We're going to give you a shirt that signifies you're the player of the game, so enjoy that. You can keep that, and I'll let you go celebrate with your teammates.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. So Trey Holland is our player of the game once again. We'll let him run along and get back with his teammates there. Holland scoring 9 points tonight. He averages 13.5 for the year, which we'll get Irvin back onto the headset here. We'll give you a clean one there. How's that sound? So Irvin's going to jump back on there with us. So not a huge scoring night for Trey, but really I felt he was our player of the game just in the sense that forced a lot of turnovers there on defense. Really, like I mentioned, kind of put a stop to that 11-0 run by the Hawks, and doesn't play like a sophomore, does he?
Yeah, no, definitely doesn't. I didn't even know he was a sophomore until I actually looked, and I saw, wow, that's incredible. Edmonds Woodway has a future.
Yeah, they definitely do, and a team that we weren't really sure what to expect going into the year, and lo and behold, they're turning out to be a pretty good squad and a very young squad. So they run their overall record to 9-7 on the year, and we'll get you caught up on some overall points here, individual scoring anyway. As apparently we've got another big event here tomorrow as they're setting up already, so we'll keep this short. We mentioned Trey Holland with 9 points. Jordan Rice had 16, 12 of which came in the first quarter. Brady Edwards with 4, Dominic Marinez with 4, Benj Perilla with 2, Finn Rogan 2, Chuck Okirike had 8, and Tanner Caraco with 3. So really some even distribution once you get past Rice. Everybody kind of getting involved a little bit.
And that proves how deep this team really is. I mean, you talked about it.
Indeed. Mountlake Terrace, we'll look at their points real quick. Daniel Johnson with 2 points tonight. Joey Gardner with 3 free throws. Hesitate to have to mention it again, but he also missed 6 of those free throws. But needless to say, the sophomore improving all the time, and we're seeing good hustle out of him. Ali Shaw with 6 points, all coming in the first quarter. Altenberger tonight, 12 points. Don't have his field goal shooting percentage, but he certainly missed his share tonight as well. But give Altenberger a lot of credit. This is a Mountlake Terrace team that we've talked about it before, fairly depleted with injuries, and he's really trying to pick up the load, isn't he, and hustling out there.
Yeah, offensively, he is their primary option, and Woodway truly tried shutting him down with double teams, and it's really tough once 2 people are coming at you and you really have no options to pass to.
Hopkins with 2 points tonight, and then Shimron Massey, give him a nice shout-out. 8 points, but a lot of rebounds.
Yeah, unofficially 12.
12, so he did match his Shorewood total. So again, Mountlake Terrace falling to 3-5 in conference play on the year, 5-11 overall. Edmonds Woodway increases their record to 9-7. And just looking ahead a little bit, the next Mountlake Terrace broadcast, well, actually you can watch the Hawks on Friday of next week on the Snohomish Times Sports Network. They'll be playing up at Glacier Peak. And then we also have another broadcast of Mountlake Terrace versus Meadowdale on Friday, February 6th. Edmonds Woodway, we do not have any home games or scheduled broadcasts remaining for them during the regular season. However, I have a feeling we'll be picking up a game or two, if not more, depending on how they do once they get to district play, as the Warriors, again, get one step closer to maybe clinching one of those spots. And it's a good Warriors team, and really looking at the schedule ahead for them. Shorewood next Tuesday at home, so if you folks want to get up to that game, that should be a fun one. That's a Shorewood team that I think Edmonds Woodway, on paper, they match up very well with one another. Very similar teams, really.
Yes.
Shorewood got the better of them by 21 points back on December 19th, and that was one of those scores that when I saw it in the newspaper the next day, I was shocked because, again, I've seen both teams play plenty this year. I have a feeling that might be a little bit of an element of revenge that night, possibly.
Definitely.
So tune into that one. And then they've got a game against Linwood, which is winless so far on the year, on February 3rd. So really, if you can get that Shorewood game, set you up pretty nicely for Linwood before you finish off your season with Shorecrest and Glacier Peak.
Glacier Peak's going to be tough. They're playing out of their mind this season, honestly.
Yeah, well, this is an Edmonds Woodway team that found that out last week, so they lost 62-42, and you're right. It is a Grizzlies team that is getting better and better as the season goes on. So, again, Irvin, we'll sign off now. I just got a text, by the way, unofficially, one of our viewers, I sent over a text score from the girls' game. We think it was right around 76-18. Edmonds Woodway Warriors beating the Mountlake Terrace girls. So knowing that we have an Edmonds Woodway and a Mountlake Terrace crowd, congratulations to the Warrior ladies, who are now 14-2 on the year.
Yeah.
Only 2 losses are to Blanchette and to Linwood. That's a very good Edmonds Woodway team.
Yeah.
So we'll keep an eye on that as the season progresses as well. So again, for everybody involved with our broadcast tonight, we appreciate you tuning in. Irvin, great job. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Great student here from Mountlake Terrace High School, and that's what this broadcast is all about. So Irvin Zhang joining me. I'm Steve Willits. Once again, your final score here tonight from Mountlake Terrace High School. The Warriors 44, the Hawks 33. You've been watching the Sound Live Sports Network. Have a good night.
Sound Live Sports Network production services are provided by the Broadcast Field Production Class, a CTE intra-district course. If you are a student in the Edmonds School District, you can be part of the exciting world of live sports production. Learn about broadcast announcing, broadcast engineering, and sports reporting while providing a valuable service to your community. Contact your school counselor today to find out more and sign up for Broadcast Field Productions.